Marcel Irnie Racing News, another video, January 28th, 2023. This is a banner, a protesting banner, interesting idea having to do with, your breathing barriers and face masks. This is a sensor tube, so we can't get into details about absolute efficiency, the size of microns of things. We can't get into the efficiency of these breathing barriers, but they're definitely not absolute efficient down to 1 micron, not even 15. So a typical oil filter, an oil filter made of paper, is very inefficient in terms of like how small particles it can be filter out, and at absolute efficient is 98.7%. So a normal oil filter made of paper, your wicks or whatever, is around 45 microns at absolute. So it means anything 44 microns and below will go through the filter. Anything above 45 microns is going to get caught at a rate of 98.7% of it. It's going to just a little percentage factor will get through, but mostly filtered out, almost at 100%. So Amsoil makes filters, which is my business, filtration. And so they make filters that are absolute efficient down to 15 microns. And this is a full flow filter. It's your replacement on all your vehicles and on your motorcycle. And they actually have a warranty for this filter for 1 year or 25,000 miles under normal service and 15,000 miles under severe service. So you don't, or 1 year, so you change your filter once a year or go up to 25,000 miles, 42,000 kilometers. I know it sounds absolutely absurd, but when you're creating fibers with a technology called using nanofibers, where have we heard that before? It's synthetic fibers created. Every fiber is identical diameter. They're all the same size and they weave them in a pattern. Versus paper, you're going to have thin and thick strands in all different shapes. And because of the strands are all different sizes, from 1 micron to 40 microns or whatever their diameter is, or 100 microns, the material is going to find its way through the path of least resistance. So it'll work through that mesh, because on a microscope, it may look like a thin mesh, but on a microscope, it's huge and wide and depth of all these. They'll find a river through and the oil will get through, or the contaminants will get through. The same thing and wearing a oil filter for your face. Of course, an oil filter would have a lot more actually material than a simple face breathing barrier. And they're open everywhere else. They're open. Oh man. I hope I don't get a strike on this video. I'll upload on my Irnieracing News channel first. You don't even know those algorithms. They just put 2 and 2 together and somehow mess you over. So anyways, and then Amsoil actually has bypass oil filters that are absolutely efficient down to 2 microns. Still not good enough for this to stop something that would hurt you. And 2 microns, yeah, that's tiny. You can't even see that, Of course you can't. And so the bypass filter oil slowly goes through this massive filter with a bypass system that you install on your truck. So I have one on my Duramax, and I never changed my oil ever again. The oil is always kept completely clean. You're supposed to change the bypass and the full flow filter once a year. I didn't even do that last time, and it's still taking oil analysis, and the oil, like those, you can see the spectrograph in parts per million. There's 5 parts per million of iron. There's a couple parts per million of silver, like these little things that are in your motor, right? Or from the metals from your motor, or things that are in the additive package, phosphorus, zinc, sulfur, calcium, all these, the total base number, it's in the oil additive package. And you can see those deplete over time. So anyways, I understand filtration and a few technical details, and so I have an understanding or a way that I could communicate it to people with an analogy. So, especially because if you don't have that oil filter locked in on your face with a nice seal, with a nitride seal that'll outlast your car, the oil's going to get by, the contaminants that get around the filter, and then of course the filter media has to go slowly through it. That's why you need like the actual mask that that filters. Okay, enough code words. Have a good one, guys. Check this video out.
Alright guys, this is the new banner. It's the "You're Not Helping Anybody and You Look Dumb as Shit" banner. It's directed at all the people who mask shame the rest of us free Americans who refuse to wear masks that do not filter viruses. This is over top of Interstate 70, and it'll be going over top of the Beltway shortly. Also, it's aimed at the individuals who are still driving around with their masks on by themselves. Anyway, you guys have a great day.